Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, soda lovers and soda jerks alike. My name is Jared, and the Game Table Podcast is doing a week of reviewing tiny and small box games from Allplay. Today, we will be looking at Soda Jerk, designed by Chris Yee and artwork by Say Beppu. We're taking a step back in time to the 1940s, where players hold the positions of soda jerks, the coveted drink-serving position of the day. But of course, our 38 cents an hour is really important to us, so we have to make sure our mixes are divine and others, well, let's just say that it wouldn't be so bad if Ian's blueberry soda over there had a dirty strawberry mixed in. It's a game of bluffing and card shedding, and everyone wants their flavors to score the most points while getting rid of the flavors in their hand they don't want to sabotage others. It's a great way to make friends. First, we're going to talk about how to play Soda Jerk. Soda Jerk has 5 different flavors that will be aligned at the top to create various columns. You have strawberry, banana, blueberry, lime, and orange. You are going to have a set of flavor cards in your hand that are going to be valued from 1 to 3. The goal is to be the Soda Jerk with the most points at the end of 3 rounds. During a round, you're going to have a set of cards. They're going to be valued 1, 2, or 3. On your turn, you have one of 2 options. The first choice is to go ahead and place a card. You're going to place that card face down in one of the 5 columns underneath the flavor of your choice. The card can either match the flavor that you are playing it under. For example, if I'm playing a strawberry card that's from my hand, let's say it's a strawberry 2, and I put it in the strawberry category, I now know that I have increased strawberry's value by 2. But maybe I don't like strawberries, and I'm not doing anything with strawberry soda. I might discard one of my other flavors and put it in the strawberry column. And let's say, for example, I've got a lime value of 3 that I'm playing face down. I now know that strawberries have gone down in value by 3. Now, the other option on my turn, instead of playing a card, is to flip over somebody's card. I probably don't want to flip over my own unless I'm just really forgetful and have forgotten what I played. But for the most part, you're wanting to know some information about what other people are doing. Play will continue like this until one of 3 triggering points occurs. Either someone has only 3 cards left in their hand, all 4 players have flipped over a card on the board subsequently, easy for you to say, or all cards in all 5 columns are face up. At this point, the round will end immediately. Then we tally up our scores, starting with 1 flavor at a time. The way scoring works is once you have added or subtracted all values from a given flavor, it has a final value. So let's say at the end of it, strawberries have a value of -2. Then everyone reveals the amount of strawberry cards still in their hands. And for each strawberry card that you have, you would take -2 points. It does not matter at this point what the value is. It is simply a -2. So if I have 2 strawberry cards, I have a -4 for my strawberry value. Now, this is more or less the game. There is a slight uptick in an advanced mode where each flavor has a small ability. There is also some adjustments for a 2-player game, and one other thing that is noted is that on turn 1, everyone has to play a card. You can't just flip somebody else's card, triggering the end game right away. With all that said, let's discuss this game. I want to start by discussing the artwork. Say Beppu is an incredible artist. I have a link for his stuff in the description, and I'll take you to his link tree, and you can just kind of venture out into all of his work. And I love when publishers really prioritize the artwork in these tiny box games. You're already having to deal with the fact that your theme's going to be pretty light because it's a pretty simple and quick game. And so you want to have something that helps it pop. And I know that in a lot of ways, our industry has kind of made good artwork a standard, but that's still not always the case. And I just want to say that for Soda Jerk, the artwork is really fun, and I just really enjoy it. I think it's cute, simple, fun, and it has a good vibe of going back to like the 30s and 40s when this was really popular of a position. And it just really works for the kind of game that this is. So what's the draw, right? Like, it's a card shedding game. So if you don't like card shedding and you don't like bluffing, this game is not going to be for you. But for those who do enjoy those things, then it's an interesting take, because it's more than it is bluffing. Like, I don't want to take anything away from that, but it's almost like this interesting social interaction that everyone's having at the table, because everything's being played face down. You don't know what your opponent's doing. And we had multiple situations where everyone at the table was sure one player was bluffing and putting down something bad. And then when it was revealed, they were like, oh, I had no idea you were going to enhance this one by that much. Like, that's crazy. And so it gets really interesting to kind of figure out, get in somebody's head as far as what they have in front of them. And the game's very straightforward. The game it does what it's supposed to do in a tiny box, where it's easy to carry around, it's easy to get out, easy to deal out cards, and you start moving pretty quickly. But I do think there's a good amount of interaction and a good amount of decision making that still takes place in the game, and it does so in a very short amount of time. It's interesting to not only kind of figure out where someone's going, but to decide what to do with your hand. And I would say in some ways, I haven't even mastered what to do with that when it comes to certain hands. So, like, for example, what I mean by that, we've had multiple hands where you were dealt 2 of each flavor, and that gives you a little bit less to work with. And so you have to kind of decide, how do I want to play this hand? Do I want to try and go for points? Do I want to just sabotage everybody? How do I want to play it? And I do think the group that you're playing with is also going to determine how you decide to play your hand, because you know how they play and how they might play their hand, which goes back to the social interaction. It's really interesting. I'm going to pull it back up to make sure I say it right. BGG has the mechanism of commodity speculation. I think this is absolutely correct, because you're speculating the entire time. Is Ian doing this? Is Derek doing that? Is Scott going to bluff his way and just screw all of us over? And which of these do I want to try and enhance and strengthen so that I actually have a shot at getting some points this round, even though he's just tanking everything? So it is very interesting in that regard. And I was not sure how I was going to feel about this one at first, but it is light enough that the bluffing really, well, let me put it this way. I heard a lot of feedback and kind of reading online and things like that this was a mean game and that you were being a jerk to each other. And I'm not going to lie to you. There were multiple points in this game that I played that I was like, man, I really want to punch you in the face right now. But I don't know that I would call it mean. I think that it's what you're doing in the game is as much to help you as it is hurting anybody else. I never felt like there was any time where I was just like, I'm going to maliciously destroy you just for the sake of destroying you. Like, I want to make sure that I'm benefiting from the decision that I'm making. And yeah, your strawberries are getting worse because of it, but that's just part of the game. Like, you're going to turn around and sabotage my oranges here in a minute. So it was very interesting, because you're trying to decide, how do I balance enhancing my score by also keeping some of the cards that I need in my hand, but also bringing everybody else's back down. And for a 15-minute game, like, I think that's really fun, the way that works. In a lot of ways, the thing that I was the most pleased about is how elegant this game is, even when you have the bluffing and trying to make everybody else's points be lessened and lowered. So again, I don't know that I would call this a mean game. I think there's very much the opportunity for someone to just be a jerk and never really work on their stuff, but just constantly be like, ha, I'm taking out your flavors, blah, blah, blah. So I guess in that regard, but I don't know, like, I never felt like people were being mean. That's just my 2 cents on it. But it is a very simple, quick game, adding in the advanced play, because it kind of loses some of its simplicity. But on the other hand, I will say that I do like having an extra element to think about when you are playing the game, of these different abilities triggering and causing it's different from just the straight up pluses and minuses, which, okay, sure, I do like that. But there's something in the simplicity of just this is what we're doing and how quick it goes, and people are able to just kind of quickly play down their cards. So I'm not saying I'm against the advanced. I just think that I love the elegant simplicity of the base game. But just to kind of give you an example, the oranges, if the final value of this particular flavor is +5 or more, then each orange card scores -1 instead. So it's one of those where you have to have a delicate balance of not getting the oranges too high, and you might end up sabotaging your own drink because you want to make sure that it stays at a certain level. Or you could also sabotage it and just run it up and then not have to worry about scoring any points, or your opponent scoring any points with that particular flavor. Other things to mention, I'm always going to applaud a game that provides a cheat sheet, no matter how simple it is. I just think that's really helpful, so that no one's having to be like, hey, can I see the rule book? And then everyone's like, oh, what are you looking at? And it becomes this whole thing for newer players. Like, everything they need is right there. No one really pays attention when you're looking at your own cheat sheet. So I do like adding that. I think the 2-player version is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it. I really think this game shines much better at 3 and 4. There are a couple of adjustments for the 2-player. You do take out one of the flavors, so you only have 4 columns. And then you have the ability to affect a column at the end of the round. Each of you do, if you're able to get it off before the end game is triggered. There is a decent amount of player interaction. Obviously, if you've seen anything about this game, or that you've just listened right now, it's very obvious that that is the case. And I would say, overall, I enjoyed this. I think that it's one of those that even the kids can get into and have fun with, and it's very simple. Being that it is part of the small box line, it's very easy to bring this with you to a restaurant or wherever you might be going that you might have to wait for a little bit. Easy filler game between bigger games. I would definitely recommend this as one that you can add to the collection if you're into bluffing and the card shedding. The only thing that I will say is that there are a ton of card shedding games out there right now. So if you're in love with card shedding games, then great. And this is another one that I think you'll enjoy. If you don't need every card shedding game, I don't know that this is innovative enough that it's going to give you something brand new. But still, for me, I love it as a quick filler. It will not take up too much of your time, no matter where you're at. So that is my views on Soda Jerk. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to listen. If you have feedback or want to give us your thoughts on the game, we would love to hear from you. Links to all of our socials are in the description. And if you don't like socials, I totally get it. Check out our website at thegametablepodcast.com. Shoot us an email at thegametablepodcast@gmail.com, or find us on Board Game Geek. 5-star reviews, subscribing to your podcast player of choice, subscribing on YouTube, liking this video, all the things. You guys know. They're heroic actions that immensely help us be able to grow this podcast. Special thanks to Ashley McCaffrey for our logo and cover art. Special thanks to Anna Snyder, who made the intro and outro music, and to Aleksey Chistilin, who provided the How to Play background music. We will be back tomorrow. I believe that Ian is reviewing Vivo, so excited about that. And we'll be here all week discussing Allplay games. In the meantime, may your dice rolls and your card draws be blessed, and your experiences at the table be ones to remember forever.